So good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for some exciting webinar that we want to share with you. We're thrilled to have you here so that we can dive into how you can transform your retail and back office operations. Today, we will have a dedicated webinar showcasing the powerful synergy between POS-ONE and Business Central. So not only to see what POS-ONE offer as a retail point of sale system, we can also tell in one of our goals today is to show you exactly how this integrate the bridge gap between the front office point of sale and Business Central. So by the end of this demo, you should be able then to see what POS-ONE can offer for us and for you as a customer, as a retail opportunity, as well then as the real-time data synchronization between the point of sale and Business Central to the back office, the automated inventory management, and as well as enhanced reporting and visibility to make your data-driven decisions faster. So in today's webinar, just a few agenda points just to cover them. So I think the welcome and introduction we've done. We'll do just team introduction shortly after the agenda points. We also welcome Sol that is from POS-ONE, based in Denmark, which will take us through the point of sale, the POS-ONE demo this morning. Sol will tell us more about who is POS-ONE. She'll also help and assist us with a demonstration on POS-ONE, how the interface looks like. We'll have a live demonstration and posting some transactions. We'll hand over then to Teresa. Teresa, I'm sure we all know Teresa from the Linc team, that will demonstrate the transactions for us then in Business Central and how the integration is then flowing through to Business Central. And then there will be opportunity for a couple of questions and answers just after the session of all the live demonstrations. So please allow me a minute just to introduce the team as well. I'm sure that everybody knows me. I'm Gerard Meinhardt, and I'm facilitating for us today the POS-ONE and Business Central webinar. And then a very warm welcome to Sol. Sol all the way from Denmark, from POS-ONE, which will help and lead us today. Sol, thank you very much for your availability to take us through the demo today. And then we have Teresa Snyman, which is a business consultant at Linc, which will also then help and assist us going through the Business Central, the back office end, on how the integration gap is then filled, having the back office in Business Central immediately. Cool. So let's get started. I'll hand over to Sol just to explain to us who is POS-ONE, POS365, and maybe Sol a little bit more about yourself.
Yes, thank you, Gerard. As he was explaining, my name is Sol. I work as a partner manager at POS-ONE, and we are the team behind POS365, which is our retail solution, our point of sale solution, built specifically for retailers utilizing Business Central. So we have built this point of sale to work solely with BC. There are a couple of reasons why we did that. We wanted to have a close alignment to the data model in Business Central, and we felt that there weren't that many options available in the market, and not so many options, at least, that can run offline. So with that in mind, we have had focus solely for the past 4 years on building a stable point of sale solution that can sit outside of BC but has tight integration to Business Central. We are based often in Denmark, but we work through our partner network. So we work through our partners solely. So we have customers all around the globe, France and South Africa. We have Denmark, of course, as our home nation, UK, USA. But yeah, we've based solely work with our partners, and they help facilitate the Business Central integration. And then we provide what I usually just call the pretty interface, because most of the logic is directly coming from Business Central. This is just a quick introduction to the point of sale, but as you're all waiting to see is the demonstration of the POS system itself. So I'm going to be showing a little bit about just creating sales, customer handling, how we can add a customer to a sale, create a sales order, make returns, and how the point of sale utilizes the data and the business logic in Business Central to have, for example, customer-specific pricing, etc. I'm just going to share my screen now. So can you confirm that you can see the screen now? Perfect. So this is essentially the point of sale. I'm just going to sign out here so we start at the front screen. And Gerard and Teresa can perhaps, I don't know if we want to have any questions during the flow, but you can utilize the Q&A and the chat function to write down your questions as we go.
Thanks, Sol. Yes.
So this is essentially the start screen. As I was mentioning, this doesn't sit inside of Business Central. There are a couple of reasons to that. One is that this allows us to have offline capabilities by design, meaning that you don't need to have any expensive infrastructure to run offline. So this one you just get from the Microsoft Store and just download it. And inside of BC, it's a simple setup as well that we will cover a little bit later. So I'm just going to log into my user, and all of those users, they are just registered as a salesperson/purchaser in BC, meaning that they don't have any, don't need to pay any extra user licensing for them. So now I'm logging into my system. And one thing to note here is that I'm logged in as a manager, so I will have access to all the functionality in the POS. That can, of course, be restricted. So if you have any, for example, new staff that are not allowed to, for example, give discount and things like that, we can restrict that. So just to explain the interface a bit. So what you're seeing here is coming directly from BC, meaning that my categories that I have here, those are the categories that I have on POS. So I can also choose to filter if I have loads of categories, but I don't want some of them to be shown inside the POS because it might be just something that I only sell online, for example. Then that can be restricted, so those won't be shown. So they're not going to be clouding your view. And this is the view that I choose. This can be customized. So we have something called a screen designer, so you can customize your own layout to make it fit your operations. All the different things you're seeing here are coming directly from BC. And if I open it up here, I'm getting different information. So from here, I can see the price. And as I said, I'm a manager, so I can see the cost price as well. This can, of course, be restricted. I can see the product group, and then I can see the stock level. This one right here is showing me the stock level at the location that my POS is tied to. So if I have different stocks or like more warehouses or more stores, I can also open it up, and this is pulling out the view directly from BC. So I can see what I have in stock at the other locations. We also have bin. So you can, if you have bin locations set up in BC, we can utilize that. And for example, if you have a big warehouse, then it makes it easier for the clerk to locate the item and say it's in aisle 71A. You can change the product name, and this will change the product name for this specific transaction. So this won't update it inside of Business Central. We want Business Central to be the master of the data, meaning that if I want to update this specific item card, I need to do that in BC. By you doing that, it also, for example, if you have any online sales, then it would also be updated there. And we want BC to be master of data because that means you only have to update everything in one place instead of having to update it in 3 different places, for example. I can print price labels from the till. I can change the price. Again, this is just changing the price for this specific transaction, but I can also give discount. And that can be done both in cash and in percentage. And that can, of course, be restricted by user rights, so I won't be able to give discount or won't be able to give discount above a certain level. I've just added the discount in, and as you can see, I have the discounted line here. So what we also have, and some of our customers utilize a lot, is to be able to register the sale on a specific customer. So if I don't have any customer on the sale, I'll just register it as a default walk-in customer, meaning it's just a simple over-the-counter sale. For example, if I just do card payment here, close this down, it's just simple over-the-counter sale. But what we do have and what we can integrate with is customer price in Business Central. So for example, in this instance, those are the customers I have in BC. I can create a new customer directly from the till as well. And I can add in fields here that are specific to my store. For example, if I'm a jewelry shop, I might want to have a ring size on the customer card. So I can add those in without having to do any code, and that will be shown in BC as well. But let me just, for this demo, take this one customer and put it on the sale. So you can see I'm displaying the different information on the customer, and I'm pulling on the logic that this customer has in Business Central. For example, I know that this customer is a part of a price group here, meaning that once I have a customer on the sale and I add this chair, he's going to get a discount. Now that I have a customer on the sale, I can do different type of payments. I can do cash payments. I can also do payment on account, card payment, credit. This one is called credit online because in this instance, I'm looking at the credit limit that the customer has in Business Central. We can do just regular payment on account that can also be utilized one offline. But in that instance, we're not looking for the credit limit. So as you can see here, the customer is above its limit, meaning that I wouldn't be able to process the transaction on the account, unless I'm given the user rights to actually be able to override this. For example, as I'm a manager, I might be able to override this. It depends on my PC setup, yes. From here, I can email the receipt, I can print it. I can also print a delivery note and a return label. So I'm just gonna close this one down. And if I go in here, I can see the history and the previous sales. So from here, I will also be able to pull up the receipts. This is just pulling everything from Business Central. And note that I am on the Linc's Business Central, meaning that I'm pulling data from where they're hosted, South Africa. So, and it's still working fairly fast. But as you can see here, this is just an example of the receipt. And this can, of course, be customized to fit your store, having your logo. And also down here in the footer, you can customize it as you want. But from here, I can reprint the receipt, so if I didn't have it. As I was mentioning earlier, we do integrate with the order manager, meaning that I can do sales orders and sales quotes directly from the till. I did this one earlier. This is just a sales order that I created. As I said, we're pulling into Business Central. So we're pulling this one up from BC. So it's been created in real time. I created this one earlier, but and from here I can do both payments and I can do prepayments. I can also edit it as it's still open inside BC. So I can add new items or edit the quantity, discounts, etc. on the items that are here directly. Let me just do a partial payments on this one. And and process it as just a cash payment. Yes. So while doing refunds, we do have 3 different ways of doing refunds. You can either, as you were prompted with printing the return label for the items, you can just scan the return label. You can also do it from receipt, meaning that I can either scan the QR code that you saw on the receipt, or I can search for example, a number. Now I think this one was number 4. And from here I can then choose, and I'm of course only allowed to choose the number of quantities that were actually on the receipt. This will then do a credit memo inside of BC, meaning that I'm of course adjusting the stock quantity in a positive direction this time. And the last way of doing refunds is just doing a manual refund and simply searching for the item. We of course always recommend that you do the refunds from the receipt, as that in that way you make sure that you're giving the exact amount back. They might have gotten a discount, you might have had some campaigns running, so we want of course to give the right amount. What we've also built inside the POS, because where we see there's a little bit of a lack in Business Central, is on their campaign module. So we have built a more advanced campaign module where you can do more, for example, buy 3, get the cheapest item for free, buy 5 and get 2 for free, things like that. You can put up all different types of campaigns and discounts inside our admin center as well, that then feeds, of course, into BC and the POS. Now I'm just gonna pay this one. Just gonna do a simple card payment here. And I don't have any printer to my one, but I'm just gonna do this. Perfect. Once you're done with everything at the end of the day, we do something called the end of day reporting. This you probably know. This is simply where you close the cash register, and from here you count up the different banknotes that you have. And we're just using the denominations and the banknotes that we have on record. So from here I just count up my cash. If there's any difference, I can either add a comment to it. That would all be sent to BC. And then I can choose if I want to have a fixed or a floating amount in my cash balance. Let's just say I want to have a fixed one. Then now I'm not going to be transferring anything because I always want to have 750 in my cash drawer. I just close the cash register and this prints just a file and sends it over to cash receipt journals in Business Central. So this was a quick overview of the till. And now let's see a little bit into Business Central and where it's pulling.
So thank you very much. Thank you for taking us through the fantastic live demo of POS-ONE. I'm sure that we have already sparked some ideas on some of the customers. And Teresa, I would like to hand over to you then from the Business Central side so that we can see how this solution fits right into your Business Central environment to keep the demonstration going.
Sure, no problem. You'll hear me all right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
You can see your screen.
All right, so if you could just guide me, I'm going to go to the customer first.
Yes.
For that Alpine customer.
Yeah, I used the Alpine. So the sales that I did on the customer, of course, are being registered on Alpine Sky House. And you can see that under, for example, sales orders. Whereas regular sales that I did in the till are just being fed into the open sales invoices in BC.
Sales orders.
Yes, I think it was number 18 that I just created.
It's today's date, yeah. Okay, so there you can see the sales order.
And you can see the quantity, you can see the price, and if you just scroll down a bit, where there's a POS365 tab, this once you install the extension inside of Business Central, we installed this as well. And as you can see now, the prepayment that I made is being posted here. It hasn't, of course, been posted in BC because that requires you either put up a job queue that does it automatically, or you have somebody working in the backend. But essentially, everything that I'm doing in the POS is being populated directly to the sales orders here. If I pay the entire order, there's, as you can see, there's a order completed tab as well, and that will be marked down there in the bottom. There's, if I paid the order entirely, I marked it as completed in the POS. So for example, if a customer comes in, they're picking up their item that they perhaps placed an order online, then I'll be able to pull those up and get the customer to pay at the till and mark the order as completed. And then inside of BC, you can simply have a job queue running that says that all the orders that have that check mark, they should be posted. So I wouldn't even have to do anything manually, because this would all just flow through BC. For this purpose, I just put a prepayment instead of completing it. And that is, of course, being populated.
Cool. All right, thanks, Sol. What would you like me to show next? Should we go?
Yeah, so if you just open up, for example, invoices, sales invoices.
Open sales invoices, is just search for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you can. Yes. So this is, for example, just a regular sale that I made for this customer, where I added the customer on the sale. So instead of just coming in without any name and just a walk-in, this is, of course, being tied to his account, meaning that I would be able to, at the till, also to search for all the different orders and all the different purchases this customer has made. So making it easier for me as a store clerk to just provide better customer service. And this is, of course, also being populated with what POS system he bought it at and the receipt number. So it will be easy for me to find his previous purchase history.
Okay. All right. Cool. And this will also be posted by a job queue entry.
Inside, yes. That is, of course, what you can choose how you want the job queue entries to be. You can have them posting like every 5 minutes. You can have them posting once a day, entirely up to how your workflow in your operations are. But once you install the app, it actually installs a few job queues that are just waiting in the job queue list and can be activated.
Okay.
If that's something you wish to do in your environment. But yeah, this was just a quick overview to show that everything is flowing into Business Central in real time.
Okay, so there won't be any item ledger entries yet, because we first have to post those open documents that came through from POS.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Anything else you'd like me to show there, Sol?
I mean, you can find the cash receipt journals. That will just find where the end of day reporting is coming into.
Yeah. Which?
That should be just on a general. The synchronization time is between 1 to 6 minutes, and.
Okay, so still coming through.
But yeah, this is essentially the flow. As you can see, everything is coming from the POS directly into Business Central. And the same goes like when you update things inside of BC, we're always pushing for updates in the POS as well. So we'll be waiting to just kind of push those updates into the till. Of course, given that we are operating online.
Cool stuff. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you very much, Sol and Teresa. Thank you for taking us through the Business Central and the integration as well. In the live demo, I assure you that we can see already the value of this partnership will bring us to the table for our customers to have a point of sale system directly integrated to Business Central. I would like to keep the discussion going and just share my screen again. I think everyone would be asking on, so what is the next steps? How do we implement POS365 POS-ONE, and how does it work with Business Central, and what do we require, and maybe from a licensing perspective as well. So also, if you're welcome to just take us through the different steps.
Yes,
please.
Of course. Yeah. So what do I need and where do I start? So as I was saying in the beginning, we are a BC only. So we of course require that you have Business Central. We integrate with Business Central Cloud. To be running on the POS, we of course have to have some hardware as well. In our case, we are actually built in .NET MAUI, meaning that we should be hardware agnostic. At the moment, we do guarantee Windows, and Android is coming in Q1 2027. So we need to have Windows device, preferably 10.17 or newer, to be able to install the application from the store. As I was trying to explain, the flow and everything is really, really simple to set up. So you just install the POS365 from the App Store, and then me and the Linc team will help with configuration inside of Business Central. So essentially, it's just getting the extension installed and figuring out with you where everything should be flown into, like what GL account should cash sales be registered under, what GL account should credit sales come in under, things like that. So just configuration and synchronization between Business Central and the till. After that, we usually have a while to just train and test. Depending on your operations and how complex and how many stores you have, we usually say that a typical implementation in testing periods should be around 1 to 2 weeks, just to get everything up and running. Of course, if you are new on BC as well, we would of course recommend a little bit more time in terms of testing, because you're getting to know 2 systems. But if you already utilize BC today and just need a POS solution to run in the stores, we actually say that you can be up and running within 2 weeks. That should be plenty of time. I know you've seen the POS system now. It's quite plug and play, and I had all the different functionality that can of course be restricted, so you would only have access to the buttons that are actually relevant for you. And then with Go Live, we of course have we just dedicate a day to get you up and running, and then we have something called the hypercare period, where we usually have scheduled calls around your Go Live period, and sometime after, where we go through and work out any kinks and anything that needs to be revisited in the configuration. Because sometimes testing is one thing, and then once you go live, you figure out that, oh no, the sales shouldn't be flown into that GL account, should be in this GL account. And then we have those hypercare period and those meetings to discuss those. On the licensing side, it requires a Business Central Cloud. It requires a device license per POS, and then there's a POS license for each POS terminal as well.
Perfect. Thank you, Sol. Thank you for taking us through on where do we start and what do I need. If you are interested in exploring more about the POS solution, please reach out to us, whether you can send us an email or open a ticket on the help desk. We would be happy to schedule a deep dive at your convenience. And Saul, Teresa, thank you for your time and your expertise today to take us through the live demonstrations. Then if there's no more other questions, I would like to thank everyone's time today. I'm sure that we are all excited to learn more about POS-ONE and see that how your business can benefit from having POS365 integrated with Business Central. Please reach out to us if you need any more information. Send us an email, open a ticket. And like Saul said, then if we go into a deep dive conversation and the sandbox is available, we could then set up some demos so that you can play around with the software. Thank you so much. Thank you, Saul and Teresa. Thanks for your time today.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure having you, and all of the best. Enjoy everyone's weekend. Thank you very much.